Wheel of Fortune took an unexpected twist on Monday as host Pat Sajak faced off with a contestant harboring a creepy agenda. Jason from Washington, D.C. hinted at an unsettling plan to involve Pat and Vanna White in his winnings-funded horror film. During the interview segment, Pat questioned the player's ominous tidbit as per his cue card. The host began, "You work in the arts, you seem like a nice fellow, but you want to write a horror movie?" Jason, sporting a sinister grin, responded, "I've always had this thing about horror movies. The chase, the screaming girl, the insert knife sound from movie Psycho," as Jason mimicked a knife. "That music. I want to do a twist," he added. Jason didn't stop there. "If I do a movie, you're coming, everyone's coming," he declared, pointing to the iconic host and Vanna. Amused yet slightly unnerved, Pat requested Jason to replicate the ominous knife sound from Psycho. After a funny reenactment, Pat couldn't help but turn him down and admit, "You're actually frightening me, and your name is Jason." In response, Jason assured with a sly smile, "No machete in my pocket," leaving Pat in laughter as he quickly shifted the conversation. A mood. Fans on social media were captivated by Jason's bizarre yet entertaining scheme. One user defended him against the naysayers, "I disagree with the haters. I adore Jason on #WheelOfFortune tonight." Another praised, "Jason on @WheelOfFortune is a mood." A third wrote, "I've never been that happy about anything. My boy Jason on @WheelOfFortune tonight is a total vibe." Despite the eerie encounter, Jason emerged victorious on the episode, pocketing $22,336. However, his horror dreams might face budget constraints as he fell short in the bonus round puzzle. Sajak's sassy send-off season. Pat Sajak has spun out plenty of harsh comments during his last season as host, according to fans. Last month, Pat mocked a contestant who struggled with a puzzle, comparing it to pulling teeth. He told another contestant who missed their bonus puzzle, "You were so not close." And recently, fans were stunned when Pat disrespectfully screamed "shut up" at a contestant. In the fall, the host gave it to the contestants after each made an incorrect guess on a puzzle. He snarked to the player who solved it, "You were bound to get there eventually. There are only so many words in the English language." Ah! Another contestant could be heard yelling off-screen as the audience nervously laughed. A winner from earlier this season exclusively told the U.S. Sun that he was outshining Pat with his charisma, causing the host to warn at a commercial break, "This is my show." In a recent episode of Wheel of Fortune, what started as a routine puzzle-solving session quickly turned into an amusing and slightly unnerving experience for Pat Sajak. The season host, always calm and composed, found himself on the receiving end of a surprising revelation from one of the players, who confessed to having a plan involving him. The moment, which aired to millions of viewers, has since gone viral, sparking a wave of online reactions and memes. The contestant, a lively young man named Jake, had been a bundle of energy from the moment he spun the wheel. He introduced himself as a longtime fan of the show, recounting memories of watching Wheel of Fortune with his grandparents and studying Sajak's quick wit and charming demeanor. But it was only after successfully solving a high-stakes puzzle that he dropped a revelation no one in the studio audience expected. As the excitement from his victory settled down, Sajak, with his typical charm, asked, "So, Jake, now that you've solved this puzzle, what are you going to do with your winnings?" Jake flashed a mischievous grin, leaned forward a little too eagerly, and said, "Oh, I've had a plan for this moment for years. And it involves you, Pat." The audience erupted with laughter, sensing a joke, but there was an edge to Jake's tone that suggested he was only half kidding. Sajak, with a chuckle that didn't entirely mask his uncertainty, raised an eyebrow. "Should I be concerned?" he asked, his voice filled with playful caution. Jake continued, "Pat, I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. Every day since I was 10, I've dreamed about coming onto this stage, winning a big prize, and then... well, let's just say, it would change both our lives forever." For a second, there was silence. Even Vanna White paused in her usual rhythm of turning letters, looking over with curiosity and concern. The audience waited, caught between amusement and intrigue, wondering what Jake's grand plan entailed. The moment felt surreal, as if the bright lights and vibrant colors of the Wheel of Fortune set had taken a back seat to the mystery unfolding in front of them. Sajak, always quick with a quip, broke the tension. "Jake, you're frightening me," he said, his voice a mixture of jest and genuine bewilderment. The audience erupted in laughter again, though this time with a nervous edge. Jake laughed too, finally easing the atmosphere. "Pat, I promise it's not as sinister as it sounds. Actually, I just wanted to make you an offer you can't refuse," he added, making a mock-threatening gesture with his fingers. Sajak played along, leaning into the microphone with a mock-serious face. "Jake, if you're about to ask me to retire and give you my job, I have some news for you." But Jake wasn't quite done with his grandiose reveal. "Actually, Pat, in my dreams, you and I go on the road together. A whole Wheel of Fortune tour, but it's a little different," he said, winking. The audience was now on the edge of their seats, fully engaged in the unexpected theatrics of the evening. Sajak, leaning into the playfulness, put on his best poker face. "A tour, you say? Are we talking Wheel of Fortune meets some sort of crime thriller?" Jake laughed, shaking his head. "No, nothing that extreme. But it's a mix of solving puzzles and life coaching sessions for contestants. You, me, and Vanna, traveling city to city, helping people solve puzzles not just on the wheel, but in life. Maybe even a little bit of singing and dancing. Think of it as Wheel of Fortune, the musical." The crowd roared with laughter. Sajak, clearly entertained by the absurdity of the idea, played along. "Jake, you're suggesting we turn America's favorite game show into a life-coaching musical experience on wheels?" "Yes, exactly," Jake replied, a twinkle in his eye. "Imagine it, Pat. You and Vanna giving motivational speeches between spins, helping people solve the puzzles of their personal lives." It was a bizarre idea, but Jake's infectious enthusiasm somehow made it sound almost plausible. Sajak turned to the camera, deadpan. "Ladies and gentlemen,